There he is, 33-year-old freestyle skateboarder and watercolor artist from Sweden. He is the Rambo of freestyle skateboarding and one of our lovely dudes from the Again Freestyle crew, Peter Andersson.
Hey!
Welcome, dude. It's so lovely to have you on the podcast. You reached out to us to be on the podcast, but it took some time to prepare the episodes beforehand. So I'm glad it's finally happening.
Yeah, it's nice to have a chat.
Yeah,
I've only met some of the other guys. I've never met you in person.
yeah.
So
I hope we get to around it to fix it on the upcoming Euro Freestyle, right? Or maybe have some session later that year. Maybe we can work something out. But yeah, that's actually the thing in freestyle, right? We are all like separated and all over the place, so it's hard to meet up. Actually, not only financially, but with the COVID restrictions coming up in Germany as well. So yeah. Shit situation. But nonetheless, I'm happy we have this podcast or like the video call. We can actually enjoy talking to us. In preparation for the interview, I made a deep dive into your Instagram and your socials, and I wondered, from drawing 1 trillion lines to finish the feather dress of an owl to finishing 1,200 tries on your video edit, what keeps you sane during this process?
yeah, that's a tough question. I think I love torturing myself, or it's like I talked a lot about it at school because I'm going to art school now, and we were talking about what do you do and why do you do it, and I sort of came to the conclusion that I like doing hard shit and fail at it a lot until I learn it, and then when I learn it, I get great happiness from it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't really bother me to have like 1,000 tries. I kind of embrace it, and that's the same thing with painting as well. You know, you can take shortcuts when you paint, but I'd rather don't.
Yeah, what's the big upside for it if you are, or what are you missing when you are using a lot of shortcuts?
I don't know. I think you get a feeling for it. I think you can see it in the painting. If it's just doing a certain amount of layers that's needed to give an illusion of something, or if you really work it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, it's just a couple of hours extra. It's
just
totally
a couple
fine.
of hours extra. Were you always like also as a kid like into like grinding out for your patients, or is it more like a general detachment from the process or even the finishing result?
I don't think I was like this when I was a kid. I think it came as an adult. I don't know. I just grew patience, I guess. I was a pretty impatient kid, but now I just seem to have oodles.
Had you like any role models, or is it just did it just dawn on you that, hey, this is actually a thing that's part of the process, and in order to do it right, you don't have to be you have to be honest to yourself and actually do the required grinding for it?
I think I have any role models for that aspect, at least, but I just think it's kind of like the creative temperament you have. Some people work really fast and explosive, and some people take their time and plan it out, and some people are just workhorses, like me.
Yeah, you. Sorry.
It doesn't bother me that if someone says you have to do this for 12 hours, then I'm like, then I'll do it for 12, I guess.
Yeah, then I will do it for 14 to make it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Seeing your more realistic paintings, like you're basically doing a lot of birds, for example, which I imagine taking a lot of like fine lines in different shades, or I mean, you're doing kick-ass portraits as well, so I imagine these are not only taking like time, but like constant reaffirming of is this actually the shading I want? Is this actually the look I want to achieve? And I think in portraits as well, people are like especially keen on like the uncanny valley effect. When something in the face is off, most people can tell immediately, not only in terms of likeness, but also like the proper like muscles and positioning and shit. So
yeah, portraits are brutal because it's such a, because birds are hard, but it's not that hard, because a lot of birds look the same pretty much. if you get, if an eye gets 2 millimeters to the left, you kind of see, you can still see what it is.
Yeah, sure.
But if I put my eyes 2 millimeters closer to each other, then I'm gonna start looking really funny really quick. So it's the margin of error is so much tighter in a portrait.
Yeah,
but also it's one really important thing when it comes to painting. Painting in general is to not panic in the middle. That's the hardest thing for a painter, because there's a thing that's like the ugly painting stage, which every painting goes to when it's mid finished, and you look at it and you're like, what the hell am I doing? how am I gonna salvage this? And that feeling never goes away. I've painted like 800 paintings, and I still get the feeling, but now I know that I'm gonna feel this way, and it's gonna be okay. I just have to get through it. Pretty much.
Is it for you the other way around too? I mean, I'm not like a big painting guy, but I do enjoy drawing and doing like portraits with my daughter and stuff. And I'm always like when I'm like in the middle of this, like you said, it's like thoughts that are running through my head is, okay, it will never look better than it does now. Stop actually doing it.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Every stripe or every line you are doing now will ruin it. So.
Oh yeah, I had a brutal one when I was doing a family portrait.
Yeah.
So that's 4 faces in one painting, and with watercolor, so you can't go back.
Yeah.
So the first face gets okay, and then when you come to the second face, the pressure of doing it right, because you've already invested all this work, is tangible. And then the pressure for each face that it gets done, the pressure just mounts. So at the end I was like feverish. It was just for days I was just tortured.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Oh,
I can imagine.
Family portraits are no joke.
At what point do you think it's a healthy process, and at what point do you think it's an unhealthy process in terms of mental health and stuff?
I think if you stop deriving joy out of it, I guess, because it doesn't really bother me to put this much time into it, and I'm almost always happy with the result. So it's just like skating. If you have a trick that you're gonna learn, and you're just grinding and grinding and grinding, and then when you finally get it, you're super happy, but you're not really happy in relation to the grind. So the grind has to be fun to make it worth.
Yeah, I also think having an enjoyable grind is actually part of what makes you able to do it, right? If you're like dreading every moment you are going through the whole thing, then actually being there and putting the investment into it becomes way more difficult, right?
Yeah, and it wouldn't be worth it. I wouldn't do it. It's like it would just be pain.
You said you did a lot of portraits for your. I imagine it to be for your school side of things, right? So, or
no, actually not.
Okay.
It was commissions.
Oh, it was.
So people come to me and they're like, "Can you paint me or my dad or something?" And that's a lot of the animals are commissioned. So it's a lot of people who want their pets done or some friend's cat or something.
Do you find it more difficult to draw something that people have like an attachment to, like your favorite person or like your pet or something they really love, or is it the same for you for every project you're working on?
It's all the portrait stuff are pretty much the same difficulty, I would say.
Okay.
Just because the more attached people are to the person or animal that you're painting, the smaller the margin of error is. So you have to be really picky with the details and the proportions.
Yeah. Seeing your Instagram profile, there are almost over 800 posts on it. How much do you how much do you think is it part of the process to actually put it out there? Like I don't know if you're like a perfectionist, probably to the same amount, but basically 800 pictures is like a lot of work. So how much do you think does one need to put out there to actually become good?
I think it's fun to post it. And okay. I saw someone very early who said that if you're gonna be, if you want to be creative and you want to sort of make a name for yourself doing it, then it's good to post absolutely everything, because you never know what will resonate with people.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I post something that I'm myself really happy with, it's like, and then I post something that I've just like smacked together, and people are over the moon about it. So you can't really control the reception, but you can control your output, sort of, if that makes sense.
I think I just had I'm watching a lot of like master classes on YouTube and shit, and I think there was like Ed Sheeran who said he explained like the method of 10,000 hour process. Like the biggest hit he had, like the Shape of You track, was like thrown together in like 10 minutes, but he's basically said he defined or fine-tuned the whole process in order to put something out, and when it strikes you the most, it's basically when you're now I'm good to go and I can actually like focus on the proper stuff, like basically stroking the iron while it's hot, right?
Yeah. Hey, it makes sense to, I mean, I can only imagine how many songs he has made that hasn't really gone anywhere, but all of them are sort of they all go in the backpack, so to say.
Yeah,
it's like
do you think I talked about it with Burns as well, as like most artists are super highly critical of themselves when it comes to their own art. Do you think that's maybe part of a bigger problem, or is it actually good that you're like, okay, like critical, not like saying it's like an imposter syndrome or anything, but yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22 that if you get good because you're critical of yourself, but if you're critical about yourself, it can also be unusually cruel. So you're kind of you're mean to yourself when you don't really have to. But if you weren't, then maybe you wouldn't get as good as you are.
Yeah, it's certainly
I
a
don't know.
double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. But I don't know. I don't think I'm too hard on myself.
Oh, that's probably part of the equation, right?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I don't know. I haven't compared to people, but I'm usually pretty happy with stuff that I've done.
Yeah, I've read a lot of like self-helping books and stuff. So one line that struck to me about like the whole being critical of yourself is like it's unwise to compare yourself to other people, but it's
Yeah.
wise to compare yourself to the one you were before. Like
Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes
basically
sense.
when you can compare yourself, but when you compare to someone, then compare to yourself when you're like starting out. And it's the same for skateboarding, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's always someone that's doing the tricks better, more smoothly, with higher pop or like a better floor or something. But when you're actually in the middle of the grinding process and look back on your other skateboarding, you can tell, okay, there is improvement or there's not enough improvement or something like that. That's where I mean, basically everybody who else is in the same position with certain skills and background and surrounding environment as the only guy that's the same as you, right? Yourself.
Yeah, actually that's a really good point, because I think that's the best part about competing, for me at least. That it's a good way to force yourself to train harder, I think, and also to compare yourself to your previous runs.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I really don't care how I place in competitions. It's super uninteresting for me, at least.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more because if I was to make a perfect run with my best tricks, and then I compare it to someone else who does their best tricks and they land it perfectly. If we both have the perfect run, then it's all, fair game. So the guy who's the best wins. But if one of us fails with something, then all of a sudden, let's say you would fail at a trick, and I would then get placed higher. Then am I better than you? Not really, because I mean it's just circumstantial. So I think it's better just to have the goal of having the perfect run for yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's just up to the judges to put you wherever they feel like.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they score competitions.
Well, the episode we had before you was with Vukash, which is part of the Euro Freestyle judging team, and they are working on a new judging system. So yeah, I will try to reach out to them and keep an eye on the whole judging system, and there will be some content where we explain, okay, how's the run judge and everything. So
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think transparency is a big important thing in like competition. Okay, when does things score higher than others? So yeah, but that's
But I wonder if I even want to know how it's scored.
Oh, you think it has an impact on your
Yeah, what if
interesting.
it changes my style? That's because it's I think that competitions are important, but not because they prove who's the best, but more because they give us a reason to hang out together.
Yeah, it's like for me basically it's like in church, right? It's like or in a football stadium where we sing along. It's not nice in the stadium because everybody can sing, but it's nice because everybody is singing to the best of their abilities or to their own
exactly.
enthusiasm. So yeah, for me it's like okay, now the next 2 minutes you guys are locked in with me and you have to endure.
You have to witness.
So yeah, that's like my take on the competition. But yeah, I'm for me it's like I can show how much I love skateboarding and how much time I put into it and how much enthusiasm there is for me into going into this. So I think this is hopefully this is expressed in my runs that this is like an important thing for me and I can actually share them with others. But I take no issues with people that are like more calculated in their runs, like they know how the pointing system works and try to figure out how actually to get the first. I think that's fair game, especially in a competitive setting.
That's up to them, you know.
Yeah.
But for me, it's I love competing, but I don't care if I win. It's a strange thing, but
that's mostly the most healthiest approach.
I at gunpoint I couldn't tell you who was ranked under or over me in a competition. I can't remember because I don't really value it.
Maybe that's also like you told me that you had like a career in personal coaching, like fitness coaching, and I mean I imagine that during this whole thing you learn that it's how important it is to actually look at yourself, like how good are you doing the exercises and are you progressing and are you doing everything you can to actually maximize the things you are working with. So I mentioned there's like no space for all the things that are going in between and around yourself, right?
Yeah, it's very humbling to work in a gym because you're surrounded by people who are twice as strong as you all day long. So you can never be the strongest. You can never be the fastest, and that it's all the same with skateboarding. It's like if I was to compare myself to everyone who knows a trick that I don't, then I would just bury myself.
Yeah,
but I can only compare myself to me, and that goes in strength and skating and painting and everything. Because it's all about style and personal development and stuff like that.
Yeah. Can you maybe share the thoughts you had about like the whole trick tip thing? I found this to be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe sorry, maybe I give a short disclaimer for our audience since they weren't around when the last time we spoke.
Absolutely.
Me and Peter talked about how difficult it is for to actually, when someone is explaining a trick, like in a trick tip video, it's actually super difficult to translate the spoken word into actually body movement. And since Peter has a background in as a personal trainer, he knows all about it. So yeah.
the thing about it is, I've given like maybe, I don't know, 3,000 gym introductions where I show exercises, and I even had the luxury of being able to show them in person and be able to adjust people as they do them. But it's very, very hard to, with words, describe motion within the body. So if I was to say, like a classic example is in like all training videos or exercise videos, they have activate your core. And it sounds nice. You just activate your core.
Just do
but
it, right?
if you don't, but if you don't have any idea of what that is, what is the core, and how do I activate it? It's impossible, because it has to be shown, and it has to be comprehensive, and then you also have to train it a lot to make the mind-muscle connection.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with trick tips. I thought about it because I watched a lot of trick tips, and I still do when I want to learn something, and it's always, I always think like, oh, can't you tell me more? but then when I learn the trick, I find that the tricks they gave me, the tips they gave me, were the only tips that were relevant.
Yeah.
So it's like the I'm working on the Renegade flip now, and I was watching Mike Osterman's trick tip, and it's like you go up in truck stand, and then you throw it and jump, and then you land. I mean, he goes into more detail, but that's basically it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I did 1,000 tries, and I was like killing myself doing it. And during the process, I was like, oh, maybe if I twist my hand like this, and maybe if I throw my body weight this way, and it just got weirder and weirder. And then just last Tuesday, when I was skating, I just did like he said, and I was the closest to ever landing it ever. And I was like, what happened? How did it get like this? But it's just that the words are so far from movement that it takes a lot of translation, and it's really difficult. And that's why I think skateboarding is such an honest sport, because you can't cheat and get like super tips. You have to really grind, to learn stuff.
Yeah, you have to.
But then, sometimes it's just trick tips can be really good for like foot placements and also like common mistakes and stuff like that. But it's just that it's such a wide gap between getting a tip verbally and then translating it into your body's movement and functions.
Yeah, I think it also takes like a certain amount of like reflection while doing it.
Yeah.
Like if you start to like bullshit yourself and like yeah, okay, I'm doing this right, and you're just half-assing it, I think there's no possibility to move on for it. It's nice having other people around, since they some people are more keen on balance, some people are more keen on like foot position, or like everybody does their stuff a little bit different. So for me, skating with other people and having them explain stuff helps me to basically find my own way. So yeah.
And it's always like the smallest tips are always the most useful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, just put your foot like this, and it's like the Casper 360. Denim has a really good trick tip on it, where he's like, it's super important that you put your feet just like this. And then when I did that, it it got like easy, and I landed it like the first day that I was trying it, and I was like, this is black magic. It's wizardry. Like, so those times trick tips are the best, and I really don't mean I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on them. I love trick tips, and they're good because they also make people try tricks, but it's just that their inherent nature is very hard because just the translation between words and body is such a wide gap.
We had like a conversation prior to that we are having right now. That's a big thing in yoga as well. You have like I'm doing a lot of yoga and like meditation and breathing exercises and stuff, and it's so hard to teach people how to actually breathe in. Like people are doing their stuff like sitting upright or standing upright, doing it all their life, but actually like sitting down and saying, okay, can you feel like where's the air traveling through your nostrils and stuff? That's so foreign to how it's actually done. So yeah, that's definitely a thing that it's like yeah, you just have to be reflective, and you have to actually listen to your body, not only like in terms of pains and stuff, but actually like the process. Because sometimes there's a lot of things people are doing right during their tricks, but it's like some minor thing that's missing, like one piece of the puzzle that's missing. So finding that piece of puzzle is like I mean, it's an enjoyable process if you are doing it right with proper detachment from the whole process. But sometimes it can take forever. Like, no joke. I'm still struggling after 1.5 years. I'm still struggling with spacewalks, for example. Like, still having the right motion and stuff. And yeah. Being patient is, I think, definitely a big thing in skateboarding. How long have you been skateboarding actually?
I started in 2017 or 18. I can't really remember.
So pretty recent, right?
Yeah.
What made you start? What made you starting out skateboarding?
I was thinking about finding something to do outside, because the summers are pretty precious in Sweden because the winter is so bleak, and I have a really hard time doing nothing. So just like sitting outside and feeling the sun, I can't do it. I have to do something. And so I was looking around on like YouTube, and I found some skateboarding clips, and those the braille videos are like how to do an ollie, and I was like, oh, this looks comprehensive. like it looks like it can be done. And then me and a friend went to Barcelona on a vacation, and when I walked past a skate park there, and it looked so cool. And so nice. Just they were just like going into bowls and doing grinds, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, and I need it in my life. So I just ordered a skateboard on the hotel. So it when I came home, I just had it and I started.
Yeah, we need to bring back demos. I mean, you can you can see it on YouTube and all the different media outlets. But actually, like seeing people trying it on a skateboard or like hearing it is also a big thing. Like when they shred over a ball with like the concrete cuppings and stuff. So yeah, I think skateboarding not only is like a highly visual enjoyment you get, also like the whole surrounding with people yelling when they are doing stuff or being mad and throwing their shit around and stuff. So
yeah, it's the best, and I just watching, because I hadn't thought about skateboarding since I was like, I don't know, 10, when I got the like Tony Hawk games, and I bought a board, and I was like pushing Mongo for like 2 months, and I got tired of it, and I just never touched it again.
Yeah.
But just going to the skate park and like seeing everyone being really good and just popping tricks and doing grinds, and it's so fucking cool.
How did you
Skateboarding is so cool.
How did you get into freestyle then?
Yeah, I was watching a lot of skate stuff on YouTube, just blasting through all of it, and I came across Marius Constantins.
The Romanian team chef.
Yeah, and his skate park just melted my brain. I was like, this isn't real. It looked so cool with all the footwork and the rail stuff, and so I started trying to find the tricks, and I was like, if I can just learn walk the dog, then I have a freestyle trick, and I really think that walk the dog is a beautiful trick.
Yeah, it certainly can.
So I just searched around for it until I found Mike Osterman's guide on it, his trick tip, and I really liked his approach to freestyle, because he always in all of his tricks he talked about the base of freestyle, that it is like a lot of small tricks in a row that can go on forever. And I really like the idea of having a combo that is eternal. So if you can do a trick from standing to tail stop, and then from tail stop to rail, from rail to Casper, from Casper to tail stop, and then it can just go on and on and on. And I really liked that idea, so I give Mike a lot of credit for being a good ambassador for it.
Yeah, it's also like a total art thing, right? Like you have like individual things, like you know how to do a horizontal line, you know how to do a vertical line, you know how to do shading, and I mean sometimes having the like being skateboarding or freestyle being an art form is like super how do you call it, sometimes it's overdone, but in terms of like actually footwork and seeing like how tricks flow into another, it's totally an art thing. It totally can be an art thing, like you said, like layering different techniques, having different starting points and end points, and different difficult layers and stuff. So it definitely can be, yet alone even the presentation, disregarding the presentation, I mean, that's certainly a whole another ballpark. Like you have people that have like more on the entertaining side, or you have people that are going like full force no stop. And I think when it comes to this, freestyle certainly can be an art form, and it lends itself to it more than other categories. I mean, sure, there are cool runs, people doing like bowls and stuff, or on a mini ramp with. But I usually think, since you are basically starting on the grip and ending on the grip, there's only so much space, right? So you're from Sweden, right? In like the upper north part in Sweden.
Yeah.
So I imagine it to be like really cold, really fast, right?
Yeah, we just had like 30 centimeters of snow
Are you into
during a day? So
are you like into like going outside in the cold and grinding there as well, or do you take refuge in anywhere in like a skate park or something?
No, we have to do it indoors because it gets super rainy. and it never dries from like September to May. I think it feels like that. It feels like that at least. So, but we have a indoor skate park in my town, and they have a good little spot. You can see it on my Instagram. I'm always at the same like 3x4 meters because that's the only place where they have a rough concrete. The other one is super slick. So if I was to do like a truck stand, I would just wipe out and die.
Do you have like a big skating scene at that skate park, or is it like the same 4 dudes basically? Or
I think it's a healthy scene.
Okay.
We have a lot of beginners on. We usually skate Tuesdays. That's the beginners. That's like the rookie day, and there's a lot of kids at least, and there are a bunch of grown-ups also do skating, but it's all street. I'm the only freestyler in the north of Sweden, I think.
I mean, certainly there are a lot of competitors from Sweden, like both Stradas and like Arkansas and whatnot. How do you think is your freestyle received in the skateboarding world as a whole? Like in particular at your place?
I mean, for me, I have had nothing but good, actually. No one has been mean to me.
Yeah.
I think it's like one thing is that I mean I started when I was 28 or 29 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean it's I'm a grown ass man, and I only talk to other grown ups, and I mean, what 30-year-old would shit on another 30-year-old?
I can tell you some grim stories too, for sure.
Is it? Is it bad in Germany?
Yeah, I think I've been lucky. Maybe it's like I've been lucky. Like I have no. I mean, certainly you get like in some cities you get like the occasional comment, and but once you put them on the spot, they notice quite quickly how difficult it is actually to do freestyle tricks, and yeah. But as you said, if you're not that focused on what people think about you around you, it becomes more of your own thing, and it's hard for other people to even judge when it's your own thing, right? So
yeah,
except for maybe like the logistics, of course, when you're like snaking everybody, but which is always the thing in freestyle, right? Since you need like a whole the whole flat area where people usually stand and wait and push and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people have been nothing but good to me, actually. It's like everyone says, "Oh, it's like Rodney Mullen," but
they don't know better, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's fine.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's certainly up to how they say it, right? If they like are condescending about it, it's another thing.
Yeah,
then, yeah.
But I mean, they are correct. I mean, he did do it. So I mean, I can't say like, oh, you're wrong. I mean, he did do freestyles.
You know what's the funny part is what I always wanted to do. Go up to like street skater and say, "Hey, that's some Rodney Mullen stuff," because it's actually Rodney Mullen stuff, you know.
I saw Rodney do that, like a 50-50.
Yeah. Right? That's it, basically.
Cool ollie, like Mullen.
Yeah, man, I'm happy for you. Also, you have like a close friend you film a lot with, like having somebody to be able to share your passion with is a huge thing for motivation as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be too lonely if I hadn't had my skate crew. Even if they all do street, it's more just fun hanging out with people.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing this whole again thing, right? Basically.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also nice that the freestyle community is so nice. It's like I've never had a bad comment online, or I've never even heard of anyone having it, and I hope that's the case, because I mean it's just nice to be able to watch people do what you love doing yourself, and see people get better and being a lot better than you, and it's just nice.
I think it's also like most freestylers know how lonely the sport can get, and know that basically everyone starting out or being part of the community is like actually like how do you say it, like precious in a way.
Yeah.
Because if we are like 100 if you're like 100 people and 10 of them are gone, it's like 10% of everybody that is doing the sports, right?
Yeah.
so actually having like
yeah, you want to hold on to everybody.
Yeah,
Make them
exactly.
happy.
Yeah, but also I don't think it's I don't want to say it's like you let slide a lot of things. I think it's like, I mean, seeing the video contest, like the recent video contest has proven it again, that people are like keen on working together and doing something for the community as well. And I mean, it's freestyle certainly isn't the oldest skateboarding category for a reason, right? I mean, certainly there's a lot there are things people enjoy about it, and I think it's worth maintaining that and sharing that it's still there, and people are welcoming to join and do stuff, right? There's
Absolutely.
seeing the time coming close, there's one more question I have, especially for you personally. Since you're like 33 and just started out with your art school, being almost like 10 year into like personal trainer career, how does one go about it and says, like, taking a seat back and saying, maybe this isn't right for me, I should do something else?
Yeah, it's not a fun story, but
Okay.
I so no I was working at the same gym for all this time, and it was me and another guy who were like running it, I guess. And then he got sick and passed away.
Oh,
so
damn. My condolences.
and we were really close and hung out a lot as well. So I thought that when he got sick, I thought that if it doesn't go well, then I have to do something else. Because if you love your job and then it becomes bad, you know, it's better to do something entirely different for a while and just reset. And I was painting a lot on my spare time, so I just thought that, why not try doing taking the art more seriously and see what I can do with it.
Yes, so you certainly have the talent to do it as well, right? So I'm happy
that I thought that, why not? But then again, I've already started to miss working at a gym, so I think I'll be back. But I think it was a healthy hiatus for it. So just to reset and do something entirely different. And I mean, I can super recommend studying as an adult. It's the fucking best. It's I love going to my school. It's, you can just go there and it's just creative stuff, and you can do whatever you want and take it wherever you like. It's I cannot recommend it strong enough.
So if people are watching and it doesn't necessarily have to be grim as with your story. Yeah, but I think it's if you have like a passion and are able to turn it into something that you can support yourself with, or you may have like a family you need to take care of or something. I think having a way to like have a plan how to turn this hobby into something that is able to like feed yourself is always like a worthwhile endeavor, right? And it's never too late to actually get into it.
Yeah, and also like if you were to look back at something that you've done, it's not like you think like, oh, thank God I worked every day.
Yeah.
You think back about the stuff that is like more adventurous and stuff that really meant something to you. So I mean, even if the art thing doesn't go anywhere, it will still be worth it because it was such a good time for the entire period that I was studying. That I mean, I have a hard time not justifying having a great time for 2 years. It's like I can't get around it. It has to be worth it because it's either that or just working. So
Yeah, and also I think if you have like a good education, basically it doesn't matter if it's like an apprenticeship you're doing, if it's like a study you're doing, or like fine tuning the things you do in work. There are always things you can like you can build a tool set basically, and no matter which problem you are faced on, you still have your tool set which you can fall back on and then work
yeah,
on it or expand on it. So I think a lot of skills are transitioning from one category into the another. I mean, it's not only like technique, but also like the work ethic, like you said, right?
yeah.
If you're grinding a painting for 20 hours or grinding a trick for even more, it comes down to the same mindset, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I'm s- I'm so glad that we made this stuff happen. We are like 1 hour into it, so
Oh shit.
yeah, time flies, right?
Oh shit. Yeah, it feels like we talked for like 20 minutes. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
dude, you're more than welcome to like join another episode and show us how it's done in the winter in the far north of Sweden.
I can show you some stuff. It's no joke. Yeah, but I'd love to be on again. It's nice to just chat to people who have the same interests and
Yeah, that's
maybe talk runs and
yeah, that's what we're all about. I think we're still in like an early phase of the whole thing, and I definitely enjoyed the conversation with you and the conversation I had so far. And yeah, and I can only recommend everybody that is watching reach out to other people via video calls or like
yeah.
it doesn't have to be like all public, but yeah, actually try to reach out to people and yeah, talking all the things freestyle and like we do, like share your knowledge or share your perspective you have on things with each other, so we can build this up for everybody and yeah, have a fun environment that everybody is happy with, right?
Yeah.
Peter, can you just tell us where, when anybody is interested in seeing more of your work, where he can find your stuff?
Yeah, at Instagram, my paintings are Peter's paintings is the handle, and my skating is freestyle dot underline dot city. I think if you go Freestyle City, it will show. I hope.
There's only one Swedish Rambo god from in freestyle skating, so
you can find me through the again freestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
Page. Otherwise,
dude, thank you for joining, and
thank you.
We are talking as soon as we can for the next one, right, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely.
See you. Bye bye.